Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the iwoshow, aka the Impact Wrestling Observer. I'm your host, Smart Mark, and this is your report for November 17th, 2011. Tonight's show started out with Bobby Roode cutting a promo. Sting comes out. We find out we're going to get AJ and Roode in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Pretty cool. We come right off of a pay-per-view and we start getting the setup for the next. That is not something TNA has done very well until recently. We also had Storm come out, James Storm, and Bobby Roode said he's not the one that attacked him last week on Impact. That set up Storm going backstage and looking for the person who attacked him. We'll come back to that. First match of the night was Devon versus Little Robbie. Robbie E. He ends up picking up the win, retaining his belt. This match was basically about Devon and his sons again. Kind of over seeing Devon lose these matches because of the outside interference. It's just getting old. Shit or get off the pot when it comes to the kids. Either they're ready or they're not. If you don't think they're ready, get them off TV. It's just not a good angle as it's sitting right now. And Pope kind of just being in limbo in the mix of this. I mean, I think eventually we'll see Pope and the kids kind of turn on Devon or something. I don't know. Then we had a backstage segment where Sting put together the tag team of Crimson and Morgan. They were kind of arguing about the match they had had at the last pay-per-view, and Sting was just like, "Oh, you guys need to stop fighting with each other and look at your talent, put your talents together." And sure enough, a little bit later, they were out there fighting Mexican America. We'll get to that. The next thing after that was Austin Aries and Kid Cash versus the Pride of Katy, Texas, Jesse Sorensen and Brian Kendrick. Obviously, not really understand Kendrick just being kind of thrown in on this. He was a champion before, and you can just see him kind of sliding to the back. Anyways, it wasn't a horrible match, but it was obviously really about proposing the Aries and Kid Cash feud. And I did kind of like it when Aries was like walking away, calling Kid Cash a dick. I thought that was kind of funny. But Sorensen is obviously the one that got over here, and they're trying to build him up. And we'll see. The next thing we had was the Knockouts Gauntlet match. This was actually not horrible. Velvet Sky was looking pretty good at the beginning, then she got beat. Mickie James came in, won the rest of the way out. She ended up beating Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne took her sweet time coming down. Just her overacting, and I don't know. There was a time where I actually thought Madison Rayne was the most talented knockout they had. Now that I don't know, she just overdoes everything, and just, it's so obvious every time. Like when she starts to do something, you know what she's doing. Her Me Too thing with Gail Kim is kind of obviously setting up a dissension there along the way. Anyways, Mickie James wins, gets the title shot at Final Resolution. It makes sense. Mickie James is probably the best opponent they could have with Gail Kim, so it should be a fairly interesting match. Again, I like seeing them setting up the pay-per-view already. Now we have a month of them, building it up and making it really something we want to see. The next thing was Karen Jarrett coming out and cutting a promo on Jeff Hardy. It started with Hardy, and then she came out and really had the most mic time. I don't know, it kind of sucked, really. It was obviously set up. Jeff Cobb's out. The whole thing just, I don't know. After Jeff Hardy beat Jeff Jarrett 3 fucking times at the pay-per-view, there's really nothing left for him to prove, and for me, this feud is meaningless. I would rather see them both move on to something else. Unlike some people, I do enjoy Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett to an extent because I think they are good at bringing heat. They're probably the 2 most hated people on Impact, and for that, I have to give them props. After that little deal, we had Morgan and Crimson team it up for their tag team title shot at Mexican America. Couple things on this. It's pretty obvious that we were going to see Morgan and Crimson win, so that's no surprise they won. But I hope that they start putting this tag team together, or the division together, and start giving us more tag teams. There was a time where they had 7 or 8 tag teams, and it was awesome. And they've really lost focus on that division just as much as they have the X division. It's like the 3 that they need to make that TV title a stronger mid-card title. Try to make it to them everything that the Intercontinental title was to WWF back in the 80s. They've got the guys to do it. The belt could change hands, on a regular enough basis, maybe every 2 months or so, and use some more like gimmick matches, 3- and 4-way matches, and battle royals for that belt. It would be interesting. I am happy that we've seen the TV belt defended recently. When Eric Young had it, I think he actually only had like 2 or 3 defenses over that 6 or 7 months that he had the belt. So fighting Scott Baio doesn't count in my mind. Anyways, the next thing we had was the further tearing down of what was their hottest prospect at one time, Gunner, versus Garrett Bischoff. He jobs to him again, and maybe Garrett Bischoff would be alright as an X Division wrestler. I haven't seen him enough. I understand they're trying to get him in and get him over, but you heard Sting say, he's going to go through all of Immortal until he gets to Eric Bischoff. So it's like, I don't know. For one thing, after seeing him beat Gunner, and assuming we're going to see him beat Steiner and Bully Ray somehow, Flair, by the time he gets to Eric Bischoff, I think it's going to be a little anticlimactic. And still left not really sure what Eric Bischoff's role there is supposed to be, at least on camera. I think they're kind of setting up him and Flair being a managing partner for the Immortal, but they need to break up Immortal. I mean, it's over. Fortune is over. There's really no factions in TNA worth a shit anymore, and Immortal never, in my mind, was really worth the shit when they did the Bound for Glory 10-10-10. It was probably about the biggest letdown I've had in wrestling when Immortal was formed. And they tried to make it out and sell it for the rest of the year as like the greatest thing that's ever happened. Nobody cares. Show me one person who gives a shit about fucking Immortal. So the cliffhanger of the week, after Storm had went through the backstage area, interrogating Samoa Joe, Bully Ray, Mr. Anderson. All of this was okay to a degree because at least guys were getting on camera and getting FaceTime, but it really was got a little old as the show went on. Finally, he comes out and accuses, of all people, AJ Styles, which I didn't see that coming, but as soon as he said it, I was like, oh yeah, the guy that actually benefited by getting these title shots. And there actually, AJ came out and there was some heat, and it was pretty good. Kind of getting us into who's the good guy, who's the bad guy in this. And I like when they can blur those lines and make it just about two guys with a beef against each other. Anyways, AJ saying he didn't do it, obviously. Kaz comes out kind of getting AJ away from the situation. And really, when Kaz came out, I kind of was hoping it was him that had attacked Storm, and that he would still be kind of aligned with Bobby Roode, and because Kazarian is just floundering and has been forever. There's zero character there, and I would like to see them do something with him, even though I'm not the biggest Kazarian fan. But there's more that could be done with the guy, and he's just always second fiddle to whoever is in the ring with him or backstage in the segments. Anyways, so they're leaving, and from under the ring, Kurt Angle comes out and attacks Storm. And again, I didn't see it coming. I thought Angle was out with an injury. I don't read the spoilers, so you're not going to get spoilers from me. I watch the show and react to it, and I was actually surprised to see Angle come out. And, setting up this pay-per-view, we've already got Styles and Roode in an Iron Man match. We've got Kurt Angle against James Storm. That'll be a good grudge match. We got Mickie James and Gail Kim. As far as knockouts, that's about as good as you could get there. I'm sure Crimson and Morgan will be defending those tag team belts. And it looks like Robbie E is going to be defending that title, so I don't know if we'll have him with the TV title by the time it gets there, but it's kind of looking like they're going to start pushing it. I really hope so. That would be such a key if they could take some of these guys, put some good tag teams together, and have some good TV title matches. That would really get this show cooking. And I really do think, ever since Brother Love took over as head writer, that these are directions they're pushing in. So we'll see. It was a good show. I give it a C+, maybe even a B-. I was entertained all the way throughout, and yeah, we'll go B-. So now, as promised, I'm going to turn things over to my special guest, Bobby Heenan. Hey morons, this is Bobby Heenan, and I just wanted to say thank you to Smart Mark for letting me on the show. Thanks for being on the show, Bobby. What do you got to say about this week's Impact? It was okay. Just okay? Is that all you're going to give us? Well, I didn't hate it, but, it's okay. Alright, thank you. Bobby Heenan, everybody. Alright, guys, well, for Bobby Heenan, I'm Smart Mark. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you after next week's Impact.